Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of most ages.
We are an uncensored comedy podcast.
Covering a wide variety of movies and film.
I'm Ace.
I'm Con.
And I'm Droid.
And we are Movies for the People.
It's just so beautiful.
What did we cover this week?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh. Is it Asians or Asian?
Asians.
Oh.
Plural.
I always thought it was just Crazy Rich Asian.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No, it's plural.
I thought there was only one Asian who was rich.
Oh, no, it's a whole family of crazy rich people.
Well, what'd you think of the movie?
I thought it was good. It was better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be decent, but I walked out happy. I enjoyed it. It felt a little long at times, but overall, I'd say B-.
Okay. Troy?
I expected it to be good. I always expected it from the first trailer. I was like, I'm going to enjoy this movie. And I remember what you said to me while we were watching that first trailer. You leaned over to me and you whispered, disrespectfully, this movie's going to be trash. That's what you said.
That is what I said.
So knowing that I love it, how do you feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah.
Well, it was really good.
Oh, okay.
I'll take that hit. I thought it was going to be trash. It wasn't. It wasn't great. It was really good. There were some really great scenes in there. Like the cinematography on some scenes was amazing.
Yeah, it made Singapore look really nice.
Singapore, the city, looked really nice for rich people.
For rich people. I think, I don't know why, but I feel like one of the stupidest things in the trailer was having Katy Perry's Firework playing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that really took away from it.
That's what made it look not so good. It's the same with Breaking In with Rihanna playing. I feel like you shouldn't have like a big song like that. Unless you're, Equalizer 2 and you have Kendrick. Because that fit very well.
Yeah, but even if they would have kept that in the movie, it would not have made sense in any context, really. If they would have played Firework in the movie, I would not have been cool with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. What are a couple things that made you like this movie?
I liked it right from the beginning when they were in... Don't
spoil things.
Well, I won't. It was just that first scene when they're rushing in from the rainstorm and trying to check into their hotel and everything, and just the way that whole scene played out, I was just like, this is going to be a good movie.
Yeah. Because
that woman's a fucking badass.
I can't remember her name. She's the same lady in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
It's Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I expect her to do well, and she did.
Yeah, she was great. I loved every scene with her.
It's because you're a horrible person. She was a horrible person in the movie. She wasn't a horrible person, but...
Well, I don't agree with her, but I thought she did a really good job at being a bitch.
Angry. You like people dying. You like people being a bitch.
I like movies, and I like people betraying things that they usually aren't, because I don't think she's like that in real life.
How do you know? Have you met her?
She was a real bitch, so I don't think she'd be like that in real life.
I don't know. Maybe it came easy.
Maybe.
I wouldn't expect her.
Maybe she's just a Denzel type actor, Just basically be him. Or Will Smith. Just basically be him in the same movie.
So are we saying that they are the people they play, but they're
basically be himself in different roles, is what I'm trying to say. There we go.
Okay.
I'm just saying. What are a couple scenes that made you... Or a couple things that made you like this movie?
Well, I mean, you've already talked about the cinematography. I love that. I loved one thing they did that didn't really go throughout the entire movie is when they were traveling, the special effects that went in that, showing where they went and how, when conversation started, how it traveled across social media and, the rumors that were going around. I really liked those scenes. I think those were the scenes where it like showed that this movie is a serious movie, but it's not taking itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And I as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm really gonna enjoy this. Squiggly lines, circle, square, spin it, go around the world, beep beep, pop pop. Follow that link.
Like the Indiana Jones, but with text messages.
But faster. Because like
That shit was hella fast.
like they had not finished the conversation they were in before like all that.
Hey,
shit.
we'll talk about that
Okay.
later. Yeah. For me, I just really thought the cinematography, for one, was the best thing in the movie. I really like Constance Wu. She's a great actress. The main character, that is. I watched Fresh Off the Boat. I think she does great in that. I wasn't as much of a fan of her in this as I was from that. Maybe I'm racist because she's playing like a stereotypical Asian woman in Fresh Off the Boat. I don't know. I enjoy her better in that. I think she's funnier, probably.
I mean, she was like in Fresh Off the Boat. It's a comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Well, she tried to do some comedy in this, and I feel like it didn't hit very well.
I'm trying to remember like moments where she was trying to be funny. I feel like it was her friend that was trying to be funny most of the time, but not.
What is her name? It's like some weird Aquafina.
Aquafina, yeah.
Aquafina, she's different. I liked her better in this than I did in Ocean's 8.
Definitely.
She was definitely a lot funnier. Her family was hilarious when you get to that scene.
I think in Ocean's 8, she was just supposed to be a weird character. Like, if she was funny for you, she was funny for you, but like they didn't really care in Ocean's 8. They just wanted her to be different than that group. Her and Rihanna.
I feel like she's been in a lot lately, and I feel like she kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I know she's a rapper.
Is she?
Yeah, she was in the song at the very end.
No.
She's definitely someone to watch out for, though. She seems to be getting better with each role. Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
time will tell.
Aquafina, what makes you pick that name?
Maybe
You just love the water that much?
she's just, you know.
Was there like a dispute? I need to know now. Like, I wonder if Aquafina has ever come to like the water company has ever like come to her and be like, "Hey, you can't use this name."
Yeah, you're gonna have to change that shit. If they're smart, they would get her as a spokesperson.
What's the last like drink company to have a rapper as anything? What was it, like Sprite with Drake in like 2000?
No, they have Lil Yachty. He's like head of Sprite right now, of their like marketing shit. For as shitty of a rapper as Lil Yachty is, he's doing amazing on the business side. He's definitely making sure he stays rich, even though he can't rap for shit.
Sometimes that's all it takes, man.
Yeah, sometimes you're great at both. Look at 50 Cent and Vitamin Water.
That's how you get a name like Lil Boat.
Lil Boat.
Always and forever will be Lil Boat.
Lil Boat.
Because he gets that money.
You have no idea what we're talking about, right? Do you know 50 Cent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's done a few movies, too, that are pretty good.
He has a show right now that's doing it very well.
He's surprisingly a really good actor, too.
Yeah. A lot of rappers become actors and play cops. You know? Why did they spend a lot
dealing with him? I don't know.
Probably.
I feel like in my head I can see Ice Cube playing a cop, but I can't remember what movie.
Ride Along?
Yeah, Ride Along. 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like there's something else
it
too.
popped in my head, and I was like, "Where the fuck did that come from?"
Ride Along 2.
Ride Along 2. Was there a Ride Along 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I think it came and went as fast as it arrived. I never got a chance to see it. It was in theaters so quickly. I enjoyed the first one, though.
The first one was pretty good.
So I was excited about the second one, but I think it came out like January, February, that really soft time.
This year?
No.
Oh, last year?
I want to say, I think it was 2017.
Okay. I don't know. I thought it was like 16. But...
It could have been. Either way, it was the beginning of the year, and it was in and it was out.
Makes sense.
We're gonna have to like revisit that one day.
Maybe we'll get it in Bin Banter.
That would be nice. I want to see it.
Probably in a couple months it'll be.
I want to see it too, because I mean the first one was really funny.
Right.
It was good all the way through.
They're two funny motherfuckers. Maybe we'll get a 3.
Well, if we get a 3, we know 2 wasn't shit.
Right. It may not have been shit. I just up here, I mean, it was in and out.
We're dealing with Kevin Hart. A lot of his movies are shit.
I'm just saying, if we get a 3, we know 2 wasn't shit.
It doesn't. It probably did well. Kevin Hart is like fucking The Rock. Whatever he's in does well. Or Eddie Murphy back in the day.
I wonder if that was why there was like that big Rock Kevin Hart social media push. Like even when they weren't in movies together, it was like The Rock and Kevin Hart.
I think they're just really good friends. I think they've done like 3 movies together, 3 or 4.
They're friends, but they're like doing the same shit.
Yeah, they're getting money. Yeah. They're like, wait, we can both do a movie together, and that's like $100 million right there.
We should do a movie together.
It was shit.
We should, all 3 of us.
$40 million budget, and it did 90 mil.
Okay, so definitely did well.
I mean, it did double, but not great.
I want to say this right now: if a fan out there, has a screenplay that they think we'd all fit in, send it to us. We'll make it.
It's going to make 100 mil.
100 mil. We're calling it here.
First weekend.
And then after that, all 3 of us will be getting 100 mil a movie.
First one had a $25 million budget, did over 150.
Oh, so
not as good.
Yeah,
not shit, but it could have just been sequel blues for all we know.
And that's not much because we haven't seen it.
Right. We need to, though. We need to make that our mission. Even if it's just for shits and giggles, we need to watch it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Do either of you guys have anything else to say about Crazy Rich Asian? That's spoiler free.
Go see it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I loved it.
I think you'll enjoy it.
I would definitely say go see it. What would you give it out of 5?
I'd say a 3.
3?
That doesn't match a B plus.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D.
No, it's definitely a 3.
You gave it a B plus. A B.
I know what I gave it.
Okay.
And it's a 3.
I'm just saying it's also a 5-letter scale. 5 scale.
I get it. It's a 3. There's better rom-coms out there than that one.
It's weird because they skip E. I know. Yeah.
No, you just had the 5th finger up. You're like A, B, C,
F.
D.
No, F. F is the
You
5th
never
one.
said F.
I know I didn't say it. I just kind of assumed you would know that.
Well, maybe you got to say it. This is a podcast.
I'm sorry. If you haven't gotten out of the 4th grade and you're watching this podcast, you shouldn't be watching this podcast. But good on you for giving us views.
I mean, listening.
Watching, listening. Thank you for giving us downloads, views, listens.
Thank you for loving us.
Tell your parents to listen with you.
Yeah.
Even though you ain't supposed to be listening. This is not for you.
This is not for you.
Probably not.
Okay. What would you give it out of 5?
I give it a B plus.
Out of 5?
Yeah. So what's that?
I don't know.
That's a letter, not a number.
It's a 4.7. Yeah, we're just going out of 5. Quit being a dick.
Really, for us, it'd be like a 4.5 because
I'm really upset with you. First off, that midnight shit. The other day we were getting a movie and it was like after midnight. We were doing bin banter.
Oh my god,
and
I got confused.
He was like, "Tomorrow? You mean tomorrow?" Because it's after midnight. Yeah, he's one of those
I'm
assholes.
not one of those people.
He's one
I
of
go
those
to sleep,
assholes.
and the next day
It's not tomorrow.
it is
until I wake
tomorrow.
up.
Exactly.
But he's over here
No,
being
I just
an
got
asshole.
confused because you knew I had to leave. I got to be on a plane on a Thursday, and you say, "Hey, on Thursday, let's do this." I'm like, oh, which Thursday? Because one Thursday out of the two that are possible, I'm not going to be here. I was confused, and we clarified.
Like you just told me, most people know when someone says, "Hey, on Thursday you want to do this." If I tell you, "Hey, on Thursday you want to do this," what Thursday am I talking
I'll
about?
see you in 3 Thursdays. Obviously, it's the third one.
The third Thursday from now.
Obviously.
Oh my god, oh man. But yeah, out of 5, I'd give this a solid 3.5, 3.75, because one scene that we will talk about in the spoiler review. So make sure to stay tuned for that. All right, I think it's time for us to get into Bim Banter.
Bim Banter.
No, trailer talk.
Trailer talk, fool.
Trailer talk.
What'd you
I
pick?
fucked up.
Oh my god!
Since you fucked up on your own order, what'd you pick for trailer talk this week?
The Daddy's Girl.
The Daddy's Girl.
The Daddy's Girl.
Okay.
I thought it was just Daddy's Girl.
No, I was. That's because that's what you told me. So I was confused.
Then the title sequence came up and it was The Daddy's Girl, which means she's, of all the Daddy's Girls out there, she's the Daddy's Girl. Just so you know. And it's a movie about a father and daughter who pick up women and kill them.
That sounds adventurous.
You just say that with like so much joy in your heart. Is it because they're killing people?
It looks really weird. Like, I don't know. Like, the acting looked on point.
Who's in it?
A couple no-name motherfuckers.
Could be good.
It could be good. Yeah, it looks interesting. You know, there's a scene they pick up this girl at a bar. She's flirting with the dad, and then you see her at the house getting chopped up.
Okay.
He hands the daughter the chainsaw, like, "Cut this bitch." And then she's like,
She does that, or the chainsaw does that?
she does it.
Quite the family business.
Yeah, I've heard it's very lucrative. Body parts go for a good amount online.
Is there a certain website you need to go to for that?
Yeah.
Stop that.
www.podbean.com/movies for the people.
All right.
And you can find all the limbs you need. We'll give you a hand up
And a handout.
and a hand off.
I just want you to know that if either one of you go missing, I'm not searching. That's on y'all.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
What'd you pick?
I went with peppermint.
Peppermint.
I literally just ate a peppermint. I wish I had a peppermint to pull out right now.
Right? That'd be sweet.
Do it?
It's the Jennifer Garner movie. We've seen a trailer for it.
Oh, that one.
I
Yeah.
have as my rapper.
Electra.
Yeah, you forget about the Electra thing. It won't be so bad. It's easier said than done because the Electra thing is kind of standout-ish.
When you say forget, you mean forcefully eject from your memories.
Right. Like
Last Airbender with you?
Last Airbender. And you're just like, what?
Or Dragon Ball Evolution?
And you're just like, what?
You're saying these things.
Like that.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
It's directed by Pierre Morel. He did The Gunman. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Nope.
Sean Penn, fantastic. From Paris with the Love with John Travolta and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
I think I've seen that one.
It's pretty good. It's an entertaining action flick. He did the first Taken movie and then District B13.
Oh my god. I have to watch that movie now.
I knew I would get you. I saved that one for last because I knew I would get you with it. What really... I mean, the first time I saw the trailer, I was kind of interested in the movie, but it wasn't rated yet. So I was nervous. You can't have a revenge-style movie done properly with like a PG-13 rating.
Right.
I feel like you're leaving way too much on the table. I recently learned, like in the last couple of weeks, that it got a hard R.
Hard R.
So
I'm so mad that we saw the same thing.
So that got me really excited about this movie, knowing that it's going to get a proper rating, and it's got Pierre Morel has done good work in the past, so I'm excited with that.
I don't know if this one's going to be good.
Why?
Because nothing is good with a hard R.
What are you talking about? Deadpool. Hard R. It's got obviously Jennifer Garner's in it. She was in Alias back in the day, so if you kind of think about her doing that show instead of the Electra roles, that might help with too.
We forgot about old what's his name? Ben Affleck. So we can forget about her if she does good. If she does good.
Right.
Batfleck.
I'm a fan of Batfleck.
I'm not a fan of Batfleck, but I'm a fan of Ben Affleck's other work that he's done since.
Why aren't you a fan of Batfleck?
Terrible movie. It's okay. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's the best Batman.
I think he's the best Batman. I don't know about the best Bruce Wayne.
I definitely don't think he's the best Bruce Wayne.
I think that if we were able to get more of him as Bruce Wayne, we might be able to have, a little bit more of an opinion on that. His Bruce Wayne time is, 10 minutes total?
I think so, yeah. So maybe they gave us more time.
Across 2 movies. Right?
Yeah.
So, a very limited sample size. He's not a terrible Batman. He's definitely better than Kilmer and Clooney.
I think he'd fuck up any other Batman.
He probably could. Maybe.
He's definitely the best looking when you're comparing him to Source shit.
Yeah.
But I'd say Christian Bale is pretty cool looking. I think he's cooler looking. But I think Ben Affleck is better, except for that voice thing. I hate that voice thing.
I hate the voice thing.
Honestly,
which voice thing do you hate more? His voice thing or Bale's voice thing?
I hate Ben Affleck's. Bale's is. I don't mind his. In Batman Begins, it was a little but once you get used to it over the next movie, the second movie was so good, you were just like, I love it. I can deal with it.
You could have come up with a squeaky voice and I just love that.
Okay, we got to keep this real short, but why do you think, you think Ben Affleck Batman one-on-one fight, no equipment, could beat Christian Bale Batman?
Oh, fuck yeah. Have you seen him? The way he moves? My nigga crawled on the ceiling like a fucking animal. And he hit him with the Arkham moves. He's fucking him up. And he would have fucked up Bane too, real quick.
I don't know.
He would have just killed Joker. He's ruthless.
I don't know.
In the scene when Christian Bale's Batman and Joker are in that interrogation room, Ben Affleck would have just beat him to a pulp and the story would have ended there.
I don't know. I feel like Ben Affleck, a lot of what he did was... Also, Ben Affleck's Batman is a lot more experienced, but I don't know. I feel like...
I don't know how much more experienced he is.
Well, he's old Batman.
He's
Bale's Batman was Batman. They skipped years. He was Batman for a minute.
In the third one, yeah.
At the end of the third one.
Yeah.
And in the third one, he definitely wasn't in his prime. It's he got beat by Bane.
He was in his prime in the second one.
Right.
And he would have fucked him up in the second one.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but...
He was just a big motherfucker.
I think seeing this Batman go against that Bane, that would be a good fight.
That would have been good. That would have been real good.
Yeah.
This Batman's body is what Bane should have looked like.
Yeah.
So he needed to be taller.
Taller, bigger.
Yeah, he's a little big. Fuck it. What's his? Who is it?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah, he's a little big dude.
He is a little big dude. Yeah, that was my pick though. Peppermint.
You can go in more on it. What you thought?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm excited for it. I mean, I really, with the director and the rating that it's getting, I'm excited for it.
So what kind of happens in the trailer?
Her family gets gunned down. Then she IDs the gunman, and they're set free due to corruption. She disappears for like 5 years, spends a lot of time training, and comes back for revenge. She's here to kill some motherfuckers that fucked her family up. So, and with the director and the rating, I think it could be a really good action movie. Comes in a really soft time of the year, so
It'll be interesting.
Not much going up against it.
Yeah.
Might be one of the first things to dethrone Crazy Rich Asians, which is running on a high right now. So, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know.
What trailer did you pick?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Have you seen that video of that guy? He's like, they interview him on the news, and he's like, I don't know. He like goes through this whole fucking spiel. He's like, I don't know. Have you seen? You never see that? Oh my god!
I may have.
It's fucking weird.
I may have.
The movie I picked was I Think We're Alone Now, with Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning, and they're like the only two people in this movie.
The song, it's clicking. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm with
Okay.
you.
So I'm
you.
really annoyed that they didn't use that song
I'm
in
with you now.
the trailer, but it's whatever. You do what you want. You got millions of dollars. I quit my job today, so.
What else is today besides your last day at your hellhole job?
It's my 25th birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yesterday was my youngest brother's 18th birthday.
Happy birthday,
man.
youngest brother.
Happy birthday.
He wanted me to tell a joke on the podcast for him.
Fuck it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
What do you get when you cross the Titanic and the Atlantic?
What?
I don't know.
I'm sorry if you've heard this before, and if you haven't, it's pretty fucking dark. Halfway. Think about it. Think about it.
I like it.
That's the last thing I heard from my brother yesterday.
I like it.
Oh man, that just, last week we talked about the loss of childhood wonder, and I see it in my youngest brother.
We can
He
make
had
that like
18
our.
was
We can make that our new segment. Jokes with little brother.
Well, brother Joe's.
Oh man, I've been really weird about using people's names on our podcast. I was like, I mean, people try hard enough they can find out our names, but we don't use our names. So do you use other people's names?
I don't know. They
Depends
want
on
us
who they
to.
are. You know, you can just refer to your little brother as little brother. You know, if
Don't let him think just because he's 18, he's all big now.
Yeah,
He's
you gotta-
still a little
I
brother.
mean, he's still bigger than you. And no, none of my brothers. I
give a
fold
fuck.
all of my brothers. As soon as my brothers got taller than me, I told them I will fold every one of you at once. Because they thought they were hot shit.
All right, on with your trailer, sir.
Yeah, my movie, I Think You're Alone Now, Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning, who I forget about, honestly. Like, I hear Dakota Fanning, and it's like, Elle Fanning, who's that? And I kind of feel bad about it, but it's not necessarily my fault. They are living in a post-apocalyptic world. The trailer doesn't tell us what happens. Maybe it's just not important to the story, but it's just these two people who find each other after the world is over, and they're hiding things from each other. And that's like made very clear, which is like really interesting because you like, this is the only other person around and you feel the need to hide shit from them. It's like, why does it matter? Does it really? Well, to them it does.
Fuck him.
It's like this scene where like Peter Dinklage is just like drunk in a backyard throwing shit because he's pissed off. Just like, and then he's like driving away and she's trying to stop him. And
That
like,
sounds adorable. I gotta watch this trailer.
He's like going through fucking houses. They're like, I don't know, they're like searching for people, I guess. And he has like this map and he's going through and he's just like crossing off houses and shit. Like very, very serious throughout this whole trailer. And then it's just like him pissed off in the backyard.
Maybe this is the sequel to Revolt and this is what happened.
They missed Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
You can't fuck with the dink, man.
It's not directed by Joe, unfortunately.
Oh, damn it.
Mr. Meowly.
Mr. Meowly.
Mr. Meowly. It's almost like Mr. Meowly.
He could be our sensei, Mr. Meowly.
Oh, man.
I like it. We could do it.
No, but it looks like
Wax
it's going to be
on?
good. It comes out next week, 2 weeks from now, September 14th, which is kind of annoying because I feel like we're not going to get it. I hate our movie theater.
We get movies that are definitely, you know, not bigger movies, though, as long as they're white people in them. Like, we got The Eighth Grade by Bo Burnham.
I guess that works because there's only 2 white people in this movie.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Might get it then.
Well, I guess it depends on whether or not it starts with just them.
Who directed it?
I can't remember the guy's name.
Jesus Christ.
Well, Jesus Christ directed everything. Well, God, his father, directed everything.
I don't know about that one.
Jesus
I
Christ
disagree.
was like a
I'd say, you know, God was like a producer and Jesus was the director.
But who funded them? That's the real question.
Who funded him?
Yeah.
Satan.
You can direct and produce. I mean, a lot of producers really only just put money in.
Satan.
Satan was the backer.
I don't think so.
He was like, get this made. I love the dink.
Oh my god. Reed Morano.
Oh, I know that guy.
What's he done?
Probably nothing.
Well, Reed is a female. So
Oh.
there's that.
So I guess you don't know who it is.
I don't know who that is at all.
Look silly now.
God
She
damn it.
has
I'm so embarrassed.
No, she hasn't really done much. She's a cinematographer. She did like music videos. Oh, she did like the first couple episodes of The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, I've never watched that, but I've heard it's good.
I've seen almost all the first season. Really liked it.
Can you do me a favor? Because it's been bugging me this whole episode.
Why? Because I kept backing up.
No, because your mic is turned the wrong way, so it's not picking up your voice right.
Oh,
You're not turning your mic. You're just turning the.
I know. I was doing this damn thing up here. Just bugs the hell out of me.
God, this guy.
Hey,
Amateur hour.
Oh, do you hear
Shut
how
up.
much better that sounds?
Oh,
Shut up.
It's like
bro, I'm tired. We've had this conversation. All right.
I don't want your excuses.
he's been up for.
I know where you
more than
live.
hours.
Come by, motherfucker. You
Okay.
can catch these hands.
Okay, I want you to remember that.
Oh my god, I can hear you clearly
Everybody,
now.
everybody, remember that.
So much more.
Remember, next week I will be showing up
Check our
with a broken arm.
check our Instagram later this week.
Later this week. He's just going to pull up camera out and just drop me. Oh, that'll be funny.
Bin banter time?
Ben banter,
Bin banter.
I guess.
Double
I just
feature?
thought about
2 shitty movies.
Double feature.
Double feature.
Double feature of poop.
can we just like
Double shitter.
clarify now?
Number
Just make
2.
this a thing. If we get a like double pack, and we just like are like, the first movie's not that good. Let's just not watch the second movie.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. Let's take a vote here. I vote with Droid.
No. It's a double feature. We watch both.
I'm sorry,
Oh my
you've lost
God.
this vote.
It's movies for the people, not we get to choose what we want to watch because it's a double feature.
Nah, not because it's a double feature, but okay, you know we'll get into it.
It was a double feature.
Yeah, but that's not why.
What do you think of
I
Alien vs. Predator?
I liked Alien versus Predator better than I liked the second one, Requiem.
Which makes sense.
2 franchises that I've been a fan of since I was a little kid had all the potential in the world, and they delivered C+ movies.
You're giving them a pretty high rating right there.
I'm giving them high rating because the first one was actually like relatively decent. It had its points.
Okay, I'm going to say what I said earlier this week. I can get the C plus in 2004. Right. Those movies do not hold up at all.
No, they don't. They do not hold up at all. We talked about that while we were waiting for you. And the second one it sucked. It really did. It really did.
It was garbage.
All the potential in the world with those two franchises, and they fall way short of where they should have been. And that was back in the early 2000s with all the hype around Freddy vs. Jason, which also didn't deliver. That was around the time that Batman vs. Superman was really hyped up and talked about, and then that never happened.
It happened just way later.
And probably worse than it was supposed to be.
I mean, I told Ace when we were watching it that I feel like any movie that's anything versus anything, and I've told you this too.
Yeah, we talked about it.
It's just two good franchises where we take things, put them together, and they're like,
I need you to watch your mouth. Have you ever watched a TV show called Man vs. Food?
Really? Shut the fuck up.
It's basically a guy eating
God, I know what it's
about. To death. He's gonna die. That's how the show ended. He died.
Did he really die?
I don't know. I
pretty
think
sure
so.
he
He probably should have.
No.
What the fuck he was eating.
I mean,
damn, you dumb idiot.
financially, both movies were probably considered a success. First one did 172 off of a $60 million budget. 40 million budget for the second one, and did a little over 128 mil.
Oh my God.
Financially, they're probably both considered successes, but
cinematically,
they're
failures.
I think
you guys suck. Whoever directed them, you're a piece of shit. Whoever wrote them, you need to die.
I wouldn't.
I didn't wish death on anybody.
I'm gonna.
For the record, Jordan Kahn did not wish death on anybody.
It was Ace. Me, motherfucker. Yeah. Look me in my eyes.
Once
even though
again,
they're mad chinky.
Why do you look at that when you want to look in their eyes?
Why do I look into the camera?
No, you're looking at...
I am looking into the screen.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Paul W.S. Anderson directed.
I'm an idiot. I need to die.
He directed...
You win this time, Alien vs. Predator.
Resident Evil movies, which are decent.
He did all of them?
He did a majority of them.
Okay.
I don't know if he did all of them or not, but he did a lot of them.
They got shittier when they I guess they did.
How many of them are there? Like 12?
4 or 5. 5? I think it's 5.
No video game should ever have that many movies.
Well, the problem is that the movies tried to be different than the video games, and then they tried to go back to being like the video games, and that's where they really fucked up.
Yeah, they should have just stuck to the core material. I didn't think that it needed a second one after the way the first one was so-so. It's maybe one of the better video game movies out there as far as overall production of it.
Right.
But I just didn't feel like it needed anything more.
Have you played the Resident Evil games?
Yeah, I played them all back in the day.
Have you played past 3?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 makes sense to me in the grand scheme of what happens in the story of those games.
Right.
But I can see what you're saying as far as not needing enough. It was enough.
It was enough. Video game movies typically suck.
Except the one, the only, the best ever, Mortal Kombat.
No.
No, not the best ever. The best ever isn't even one video game. Best ever is fucking Ready Player One. But
is that considered a video game movie?
Yeah, because there's so many.
I think it's more of a movie based off a video game, not a movie pertaining to video games.
Okay. But no.
And it'd probably be, other than that, Tomb Raider.
Okay, I can take Tomb Raider.
I'd be good with Tomb Raider.
Definitely Tomb Raider. The new Tomb Raider, not fucking Laura Croft, not fucking
The old ones.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
Those weren't terrible,
Those are definitely probably third.
but I mean,
I wouldn't take them over Mortal Kombat.
That's because you're just on a Mortal fucking Kombat dick.
Let me tell you, you know what? I'm not.
I haven't watched Mortal Kombat in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I've only watched it once.
I watched it a number of times when it first came out. Does it still hold up, or is it just pure shit now?
Mortal Kombat doesn't hold up.
But I mean, do you still get like that nostalgia feeling?
Yes.
Because playing Mortal Kombat at the arcade or whatever.
Like, as soon as the fucking... like, you don't even get into the fuck... There's no, like, opening credits, really. Like, immediately coming in, just Mortal Kombat. And, like, at that moment, it's just like, I'm along for the ride. I don't care what the fuck happens. I'm going to enjoy this. That's how I feel every time I fucking watch that movie. I'm sorry. Nah, fuck that. I'm not sorry.
I feel like we've talked about multiple movies holding up. Damn, nigga.
I don't know.
I just expected you to say some wild shit. I apologize.
All I was going to say is with movies holding up, it's not as much about like special effects as if it's a good movie. If it's a good movie, it doesn't matter about the special effects.
Right.
So if it was a good movie, it wouldn't fucking matter. Same with a lot of movies, like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, the special effects do not hold up, but you can still watch them because they're good movies.
Right.
Harry Potter is like one of the only movies I can think of that holds up so fucking well. So fucking well.
Those are just beautiful movies, start to finish.
I don't know how they do them. I don't know how they do it. It just...
spend a lot of fucking money.
That's because J.K. Rowling was a rich motherfucker.
Quick sidebar, and we need to get back to fucking AVP. Do you hear about J.K. Rowling buying that one dude's house because he was talking shit on the internet? Bro. J.K. Rowling is one of the people you just don't fuck with. Because, like, some dude literally, like, called her out during, like, the refugee crisis. And she's like, open your homes, da 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 da. And he's like, says the billionaire author from her gold-plated iPod. And I don't remember exactly what her response was, but it ended with, I'll be owning that shack of yours in 2 years. And she bought his fucking house.
Oh my God.
And I'm pretty sure she like gave it to like a like family of immigrants.
Nice.
And I was like, wow. It was
That's petty to like on
Right?
a whole nother level.
It's the ultimate fuck you.
oh fuck.
Motherfuckers don't realize talking shit to these celebrities, they can fuck their life up.
Right. Especially J.K. Rowling. She's the only fucking billionaire that donated enough to be back in a millionaire.
Oh man.
Back in the millionaire status. That makes more sense.
Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, AVP doesn't hold up.
It doesn't, it's just not a good movie. That was kind of what I was trying to get at. Like, it's, the whole story was just real quick and kind of stupid. The whole end scene with the alien and the fucking girl going in fighting was shitty.
When they were fighting their way out of the pyramid, or when they were fighting, okay. There was
it was really dark, and everything just looked like way too fucking dark.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what they do to hide that their special effects aren't good.
You haven't seen the Predator movies, though, have you?
No.
Okay, there's that too, then.
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen this. I've seen part of the second one. I may have seen the whole second one when I was younger, but I remember part of the second one.
You need to see all of them.
But they're not dark like this one was. This one was dark because the pyramid didn't have power and blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. That was like, there were like red lights and like they're trying to like give the fucking environment
right
a little bit. This was just, oh, it's dark. What's down that hallway? This black fucking creature in a dark fucking hallway. Oh my God. There's one light. I see it now and I'm dead.
And I'm dead.
Right?
Yeah.
It just wasn't good. And then the second one, oh my God.
It was terrible.
I'm not done with the first one. Time out. First off, I have questions about the first one. And the first is they build this pyramid, right?
Right.
And this is where they go to like test themselves to fight the aliens.
Yep.
And they have the alien queen like cryogenically frozen.
Essentially, yes.
And she's smart enough to tell the aliens to come like stab her and get her blood all over these chains so that she can escape.
Wasn't that the second one?
No, it's the first one.
That's the first one?
Yeah.
Damn.
Why the fuck has she never, like, this shit has happened before. Why the fuck is she even there? It makes no sense because clearly they're smart enough to do these things. And clearly the predators have failed before, not in this location.
Right.
But the fact that, I don't know, maybe the predators are just that fucking savage before, but it really doesn't make sense as many aliens as there are, especially when you see the scene where they're on top of the pillar pyramid.
The flashback scene.
Where the predators fail and it's like hundreds of thousands of fucking aliens.
Oh, yeah, there were.
In this pyramid, there were, 3 predators, 2 of which died in the first, 15 minutes that they were in.
Yeah, that was fast.
And, 10 aliens and the queen?
Probably more than 10 even. I mean, how many people were
they only had...
expedition?
Right, they only had as many aliens as there were people.
Right.
So
yeah, I guess maybe around 10, give or take a few.
And then when they first find the predator's weapons, they open this case and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck is it? Oh, it's an ancient artifact. I wonder what it's shaped like a fucking gun."
Yeah.
What do you mean? That frustrated the hell out of me.
There were a number of scenes that you could tell that the writing for the dialogue and everything was written by a 4th grader.
Probably the best scene in that whole movie is when they go into the sacrificial chamber and the lady's like, "What'd you call this room again?" And he's like, "It's the sacrificial chamber." And the fucking face huggers come out of the egg. And there's this weird coordination where they instead of going for the people right next to them, they crisscross across the room in slow motion and grab. I was like, that's probably the best scene in the whole fucking movie. I'm just like, oh my God. I said it too. When he went to use the bathroom, I was like, you probably missed the best scene in the movie just now. It's not going to get better from here.
No, it really didn't. It like we said earlier, it didn't hold up at all 14 years later. It's just crap.
Also, I don't know who takes fucking phone calls on Mount Everest. In the very beginning of the movie where she's climbing that fucking, I was like, who has fucking service? She has a normal fucking cell phone.
It wasn't a fancy cell phone.
And he's waiting on top of the fucking mountain with the helicopter. I'm just like, what the fuck?
How did she not see him get up there?
Right.
Or hear him or...
He was right above her.
And I mean, I guess if he had been there for a while, that makes sense. But why would you fucking be up there for a while? It's cold
and wait to call her?
Right.
It's a bad movie. Don't ever watch it. None of you people.
If you're a fan of the Alien movies and you're a fan of the Predator movies, these movies are worth a watch.
No, they're not.
If you get them from the $5 bargain bin, don't pay anything more.
If it's on Netflix, watch it. Don't pay $5 for this shit.
You need to see the rest of the movies.
No, I don't.
I actually got mad. Sorry.
If they're this bad, which I don't, I've seen Alien. Or Alien. That's the first one, right? Alien, and then it's Aliens.
Yeah.
I've seen Alien. Great movie. I've heard they don't get much better from there. It's kind of like a downhill slope. I want to see the Predators. But, like you guys said, this doesn't hold up to them. So I don't really, if you're a fan of both, you probably don't want to watch this. It's like if you're a fan of Marvel, you probably don't want to watch Thor Dark Worlds or Iron Man 2. You don't gotta. Don't do it.
If you're a fan of the original franchises, they're worth a watch.
These are worth nothing.
they're worth a watch.
Oh, another thing that bugged me, end of the fucking movie, the predators come down and they take the predator who's been down in the pyramid, who I guess if you weren't paying attention was attacked by a face hugger,
right,
and had an egg inside of him. And they like put him in this room on the ship and just lay him there. And the alien comes out of his body at the end of the movie. And I was like, that makes no fucking sense. They've been scanning people this whole fucking movie and they didn't scan this dude. Like, literally.
There's no need to scan their own people. I don't know.
I mean, if he was like walking in, that'd be one thing.
Right.
But he's like dead, basically, or near death.
How did he fucking die?
You should probably scan him.
Well, there's a few ways that he either got fucking an acid, which we can tell is not the fucking case. He got stabbed, which did he get stabbed during that fight? Okay,
yeah, right before the queen went.
Oh, right
sinking.
before, yeah. So he did get stabbed. I guess maybe they could assume that he died from a stab wound, but I'm thinking this
high-tech alien race.
I think we don't make those assumptions.
Right.
And I feel like they've had it happen before. Like, clearly, their hunters have failed before. So I'm assuming that someone's been infected before.
You'd assume so.
And then we move on to the second movie.
Oh, God.
Where the same fucking guy... I couldn't even keep up with what was going on in the beginning. Like, did he fucking... I thought he was dead, but how did his ship come back down to Earth?
I don't think he was... Was he the same guy?
It was the same one because...
He didn't have the mark on his head.
No.
Oh, no.
It was a hybrid that came out.
Right. But the hybrid was born from the alien in the first movie. The hybrid wasn't born until after it came out.
Of the predator.
Right. And it grew.
Yeah.
And they were trying to stop it and the ship crashed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was, I don't know where the fuck the new predator came from. He was just a badass. He was fucking punching through he was punching out of the sewer on the fucking streets and shit. It was like, where did they send this dude the first fucking time?
He'd already proven himself, would be my guess. So there was no need for him in the first one.
I guess.
But he was the guy that took the job to clean up the mess down there. And he didn't clean it up very well. It became an infestation.
I mean,
quickly.
That's because he was dealing with a different type of alien altogether, but... You know what happened in the very beginning of the movie? And I looked at... the father and son are, like, out hunting. And the fucking face huggers are, like, all over the fucking forest. And the face huggers jumped out and get the dad. And it's like, damn, the dad. And then the face hugger jumps out and gets the kid. And I was like, oh, look. They killed a kid in the first 5 minutes. How do you feel? And he, like, didn't comment. And like 15 minutes later, they go back to the dad and the kid. After having not commented on this the entire time, I'm just like, okay.
No, we had a discussion about it. I was like,
oh, yeah.
I said they didn't really make it's an irrelevant death. I don't give a fuck about that.
But we get to when they get back to the dad and the kid who are still technically alive.
Right.
Dad dies. He's like, the kid didn't even fucking die. You fucking liar. And so the kid dies like 15 seconds later.
Yeah, seconds later.
And he's like, nah, I'm satisfied. Just like, you and your fucking deaths in movies, you motherfucker. He says,
joke.
No, but like the second movie, there was a useless ass romantic subplot. Like,
let me tell you something. There was a second movie, and there was just a useless plot, and a useless crew, and a useless actors, and a useless movie.
The only person that came out of that movie, I recognized her, and I didn't know where from. I don't know her name off the top of my head. She's the girlfriend, like the main character. Is he the main character? Who the fuck is the main character in this movie?
The Predator.
Okay,
probably the
alien.
The pizza dude. The girl that he likes.
Yeah.
Is in the American version of Being Human. If you haven't seen it, it's a fucking amazing show. Have you seen Being Human?
I've seen the UK version.
Okay. In the American one, she plays the wife of one of the main characters who's a werewolf, and she ends up becoming a werewolf. She's great in that. So everybody in fucking Being Human is great.
One of my two favorite scenes in this entire movie was when probably number one is when she died.
I was so mad. I was low-key.
It was aggressive.
I was annoyed when she died just because she was the only person in this movie I recognized. Right. I was like, fuck. Like, I literally, I thought, okay, this girl looks familiar. And like 40, 50 minutes later, it's like, let me look this up. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. And then she just gets fucking destroyed by that fucking throwing star from the Predator. Who didn't do it on purpose. She just happened to be in the way.
She just happened to be in the way.
But
she got speared against the wall.
This thing, I don't know how big that was bigger than like the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers throwing stars. He has normal fucking throwing stars. That shit was like this fucking big.
It was like
lifted her off the ground like 6 feet and pinned her to the wall where she fell in half. Like, what the fuck? I was unhappy.
I loved that scene. That, and then earlier when they're gathering up weapons and the two stoners get fucking their faces literally blown off. Probably my two favorite parts of the whole movie.
That was the point at which I was just like, oh my God, this movie's so stupid.
One thing, for one, let me tell you this. I wasn't really paying attention during the second one. I was working on other stuff for the podcast and kind of like watching it. And I want to know one thing because I didn't see it because I wasn't paying attention for it. What glow stick were you talking about?
That was in the first one.
Was it in the first one?
Yeah.
And then I missed it.
Yeah. They toss a stick down a well. And that's when, like, then the next scene they cut and they're looking for it and down the shaft. And she's all like, I think this is the spot. As the stick is right there. It's like, what an astute observation. You are a great detective.
I do remember that scene.
I couldn't even like comment on it. My wife was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? Did I just witness that right there?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a fourth grader writing this fucking dialogue." I mean,
I don't get how someone can write dialogue that bad.
I don't know.
Like, you have to be like have no friends to
the
write
only good
something
dialogue
so
in the movie
shitty.
was in the very beginning when she's talking to the guy who's funding the expedition, and she realizes he's sick, and he's like, you know, if I die, what's gonna happen? You know, like 1% change and stuff, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I've heard that before. You know, that was my dad before he died. And, you know, she goes in the story of how they got to the top of Mount Everest and they had the drink. And then he died when they got to the bottom 20 minutes away from a fucking. And he's like, do you think that's what your dad remembered, or was it him having a drink with you at the time? You know,
right?
I was like, that's some good dialogue.
That's
not going to happen for the rest of this movie, but that was good.
That was probably the high point of writing in the entire movie.
Yeah,
because it's kind of a real moment right there, and then everything else, I mean, just fucking trash. The way that these two movies are done, they almost feel like they belong in like 1994 and 1997, not the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
That's where they belong.
There was one scene in the first one that I thought was about to be dope. And that's when like the alien's holding the chick down and the Predator comes and does like this backspin type thing. And I was like, yo, he's about to knock this mother. And then it just gets blocked. And I was like, well, that was shitty. Ruined the one hype moment that I've seen in this whole fucking movie. And I was completely done with the movie at that point. Completely done. But can we please stop talking about this bullshit?
We gotta finish talking about the second one.
We did. The Predator comes, the aliens are there, they fight. That's the fucking movie. And there's shitty dialogue and shitty people. And really a shitty little girl with fucking...
The Colonel was the shittiest of them all.
The one who was like, who called the strike in on the town. Yeah, that was just fucking weird. He's just like staring at, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I could get it if he like maybe showed a little bit moral confliction there.
Right.
But there was like no emotion.
It's like, hey, let's nuke a fucking town.
Like, and there's no, no struggle there. And I get it. It's for the sake of humanity, and we need to destroy this fucking town. I get that.
Right.
But, I mean, like 2 minutes of some conflict there amongst himself would have been better than staring at a screen. What are you? I'm the Colonel. I'm calling in an airstrike on your city. But I'm not going to tell you.
Oh my God. One last thing. When the Predator and the Predator-Alien were fighting in the end, it reminded me of like my biggest pet peeve when it comes to like fight scene cliches. And that's when somebody gets a good ass hit in and the person who got hit is like, and they like have a comeback for that shit. I was like, why don't you just keep beating their ass? You got the good hit in, keep getting good hits in. But no. He does that. He fucking like stabs the fucking alien, the Predator-Alien, and then Predator-Alien just answers all of his oh my God. Also, when he got pissed off and took all of his armor off, like there's this whole like 40-second like I'm taking off the helmet, take off the belt, I don't need none of this. And then he gets his shit rocked for the next like 35 seconds.
Oh my God. He didn't stand a chance. I mean, he might have been the best that the Predators could send down.
He was like this close from fucking dying.
You can't go one-on-one with a fucking hybrid like that. That dude he's the best of both creations. Right. You're not going to stop that. You need an army of Predators to stop that. Or a fucking nuke to finish it, but
to blow up, yeah.
I mean,
you know what was really hilarious though? The little girl really wanted to. She didn't want to be with her mom.
No,
and she's like, "I want Daddy to read the book, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And she's like, "There's a monster outside my window." And he's like, "No, look, it's just." And then the fucking alien's right there, and it like comes through the window. I was like, "Well, Daddy's not reading that story anymore." Looks like you're gonna have to settle for mom tonight.
You're gonna have to settle for mom forever. Your dad's just been annihilated.
And there was like one black person in that movie. And the one person who the sheriff who was like Hispanic, they definitely talked to like he didn't belong. There's literally a point at which he's like telling people to go home. He's like, "Well, around here we take care of our own." And I was just like, wow. Oh my God.
They're bad.
Yeah.
Not good.
No, don't watch those movies. I'd take that back. Don't buy it from the bin. If you're going to get it...
Netflix. It's the only way you should ever watch it. You've already paid at that point.
Yeah, you're kind of wasting
or you're
your time.
bumming it.
And I imagine they'll be on Netflix here in the near future.
I don't know if Netflix will be willing to take that.
They usually don't put movies that are coming out on Netflix because then they want the money from people buying them.
No, I mean like once that one comes out.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So like
maybe January
or something. Because
February.
Predators won't be in theater for very long. It'll be there for a solid 2-3 months maybe, and then it'll be out. So February it'll probably be Netflixed. But there's just too many good things coming out November, December for that movie to really retain its spot, eating up a theater.
All right, guys. Can we talk about these Asian motherfuckers now?
We can talk about these Asian dudes.
They're pretty rich.
They're rich.
They're pretty fucking rich. Let me start out by saying this. You know, I'm not racist. But in high school, I used to take my STAR test and I would purposely fail and mark myself as when they asked for race, I would put Asian. Just to knock these motherfuckers down a notch.
That really sounds racist.
Nah, I just did it because I was like, well, I'm not going to bring down the black community. I was like, white? No, because those are still kind of my people too. So Asian. I was like, if I mark Asian on here, it's not gonna change a thing. Their levels are already up here.
What if they're like crazy ramifications of you doing this shit? Like next week, somebody shows up in your
Like an Asian motherfucker?
Somebody who cares a lot.
Like, I didn't get into college because of you.
Like,
I don't know how it would affect anybody. No one got grades off those tests. I mean,
Well,
schools didn't get funding because of low test scores.
if in a week you get your ass beat, we'll know how it affected you.
That'd be funny as fuck.
Bro.
Arrested and tossed in prison.
It is fraud. I was 16.
Doesn't matter.
You're going to jail, buddy.
Tried as an adult.
I get sent to prison. I'm just like with a bunch of Asian people.
The Asian cell block.
You just walk in.
Next thing, they're running the train on your ass.
Why'd you go that far?
Oh, yeah, you went
so
my
far
butthole
so
clenched.
fast.
Yeah, calm down over there, Mr. Khan.
Sad.
Just mom listens to this podcast.
Yeah. I don't make my mom come up here. She'll beat you. Oh,
I'll have flowers and chocolate waiting for your mother.
I mean, that's a good idea. Ace's mom's got it going on.
That could be the next song.
can you just chill? All
He
right.
hates when I make that joke.
Go ahead and tell me a couple scenes that made you really enjoy this movie, or maybe some things you disliked.
I alluded to it in the beginning when they go in for their hotel reservation, and the asshole at the front desk is like, "Nope, we're full," and like she's all trying to say, "Check, well, it's under my name, blah blah blah," and like, "Nope, we're full."
She pulled a J.K. Rowling.
Manager comes out and like, "Oh no, we're full. Sorry, we ain't got room. We're booked up. Maybe you should try something down the road a little cheaper."
Chinatown.
In
Chinatown. And then she just like, "Okay, I got you."
She's like, "Can I use your phone?"
Yeah.
It's the least you could do.
Nope, can't do that. She goes out to the phone booth in the pouring rain. Comes back a few minutes later after talking to her husband. The owner comes down and introduces his asshole staff to the new owner. And I'm just like, this is awesome.
That was a great scene.
That was, I mean, you can't open a movie like something like this better than that. That was just beautiful.
When I saw this scene, I was like, I was wrong. Like if the rest of the movie isn't that good, that was a great scene.
That was just a beautiful scene. And she just quietly told them to fuck off and said, "There's mud on the floor. You should go clean it. Or it's wet," or whatever the hell she said. But she just walked away smiling.
Right.
I just bought a hotel.
Nice asshole.
Nice ass hotel.
What else?
I only dream of living in. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that was a high point, but I mean, it was kind of a high point right there for me, right there. That moment just sucked me into the whole movie.
Yeah.
I thought that, the hell's his name? Rachel and Nick, I thought they had some pretty good on-screen chemistry together. Felt kind of like it was maybe real, what they had going on.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't forced like you see in some movies, rom-coms and whatever. I liked that. And really, like you said, the cinematography was really good. I mean, it was really, they made the rich area look beautiful in Singapore. Kind of like...
I mean, they made most of Singapore look pretty fucking nice.
yeah.
Even like that food court, that it looked great.
Right.
I wouldn't eat there because I'd eat at the wrong place and get a fucking worm in my stomach and die.
Yeah. That would be a fear. But if you had the right person picking out the food for you, I think that'd be a place to go for.
Yeah.
And I don't really dig that kind of food, but I would try it.
Why don't you dig that kind of food?
What do you mean that kind of food?
Yeah.
Like-
what do you mean that
Food
kind of food?
and shit like that. I don't do it. It's not my thing.
You don't like rice, motherfucker?
I love rice.
You don't like chicken?
I love chicken.
Well, you can
Wasn't
eat
chicken.
there.
That
They got
wasn't
chicken there.
That wasn't chicken. That was other animals.
They got something for everybody there.
Sea creatures.
They got something for everybody.
Maybe. Dog.
All right, droid.
Some cat.
All right, now you're going.
I love in the very beginning, right after when she bought the hotel, they go into the scene with Constance with Rachel playing poker.
Mm-hmm.
And like throughout the entire scene, it's like, oh, okay, she's like playing for like some high stakes. She's in the big leagues, you know. And she wins, and it's like a university class. You're like, nah, she's broke.
That shit was good.
That shit was hilarious to me.
That was pretty good.
I love their relationship, Rachel and Nick. I think what I was talking about earlier when they like go to the coffee shop and they're having this conversation, and one person who knows who he is takes a picture of them because he says he wants her to go home, and she sends that picture to a friend. That person posts it on the internet. That person shares it. It ends up getting to his aunts who are in the room with his mom, and they're like, is Nick bringing home a girl? He's like, he brings girls home all the time. It's probably not serious. And she's like trying to read the Bible, and they're like over here gossiping. And then like goes back, and they're like in the coffee shop still talking, and the phone rings, and it's his mom.
Like it's literally been like 10 seconds.
But I love the animation, like all the effects that happen is they're like showing like tweet, 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 arrow going around the world. Like that shit was just so fun to me. I enjoyed it.
No, that was really good.
The whole movie just started out really, really good.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like I said, I was expecting it to be a good movie, but the way it started out was really well. Just an attention grabber right away. And
it didn't really get serious until they got to Singapore, I feel.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. Like, I don't think the pacing was bad as far as that goes, because like some people will argue, maybe Ace, that transition is like too big for one to make, as far as like it's fun, happy-go-lucky, and all of a sudden there's this big like serious kind of, you know, her trying to figure out how to behave around these people and, you know, the culture. But I think it makes a lot of sense in that situation. Like for someone, like I've never been out of the country, but if I were to go to like anywhere in Africa and I like spoke the language, I think it would be really fucking weird for everybody involved in that situation, because even though I am familiar with that culture, I'm not from that culture, and that's what she had to deal with.
Right.
You know, I couldn't experience that because once again, I don't have that, but I feel like that there's a weight of seriousness that comes with that, and it was appropriate for that to be there. You like the list, like you were going to say something.
I'd say there's a lot in the middle that could have been cut out.
Yeah. Like what?
Like a lot of the bachelor party scenes. I feel like they were drawn out, and that's kind of where it got a little slow.
The one in particular I will say that was useless was when they were on the boat. When they were on the boat, and I don't remember the guy who was like with the groom. He was an ass. They made a point of that the whole movie.
Which one? There's like three.
The one who was like shooting fucking RPGs off of the fucking boat. Like you thought it was a firework, and then it just.
I was so happy to see him in there. If you watch Silicon Valley, Jin Yang from Silicon Valley, he's fucking hilarious. I didn't know he could speak English so well. but that scene was funny. And like I feel like if they had like maybe instead of having like a longer conversation like they did, cut it down a little bit. Same with when they were both the friends were sitting on that little raft talking, cut that down a little bit. Cut out the whole shopping spree scene.
I don't necessarily shopping scene. I can see being cut out.
Cut down.
Them sitting.
They could have cut down the boat scene with them on the raft. It was just a long talk, and then they would like go back, and they were kind of saying like the same stuff back and forth. The scenes were kind of pointless. The best parts of the movie: beginning, when they leave, and once she's Rachel with the mother. All the extra shit was kind of like, I enjoyed the fish in the bed scene. That was great. I don't think you needed that whole amount of time to build up to that little thing. And yeah, I'd say all the scenes with Rachel and the mother, once she finally like, nuts up and was like, fuck that bitch, I'm gonna show her who's wrong. And that's when the movie really got great.
See, here's my thing, and I mean, we've had this conversation as far as like our differing opinions. Like I've realized that I'm the optimist, so like I find certain things to be necessary. So like when they're on the boat, the two, Nick and his best friend are talking, and they're talking about Nick proposing to Rachel and all the wedding stuff. I feel like that's something that is completely and totally appropriate because marriage is a big deal. Like, this is a moment that I guess can drag on, but I didn't feel like it was too long.
I think that of the scenes that he mentioned, I think maybe trim a few minutes off of each bit.
I get that for the shopping spree one and the one on the boat,
because the shopping spree was relevant to a point, because that's when Rachel befriended the family's lawyer.
No, she befriended her before they left.
Right,
but that's where it really solidified, was right there.
And when we say befriended,
she did befriend her, and then was loosely betrayed.
Yes.
I feel like if you're betrayed, they were never really your friend, so it doesn't count as befriended.
It's with air quotes.
Yeah.
But it helped solidify that friendship. But I think it went on a little too long. And then same with on the cargo ship. It was needed because that was how Nick and his buddy left.
Right.
But I think it went on a little too long, even just a couple of minutes. Because I felt like, it clocked in at 2:01 for the runtime.
Yeah, it could have been an hour and a half.
I think an hour and 30, hour and 40 would have been perfect. Just trim off a little bit of the unnecessary. Even with when she's kind of moping at her friend's bedroom.
That went on way too long.
That could have just
agree with that one.
That could have just been sped up, kind of time lapse. Kind of
montage,
montage it or whatever, and it would have worked better. It definitely was a necessary scene, but it was just spread out too long. I think montage it and you're good.
See, while I agree with that particular scene, I don't know, part of me wants not to agree with that because I'm not a director and I can't speak for the director of the movie, but I feel like us viewing it, we get a different feel than, obviously everybody feels slightly different from what the director intends.
Right.
But I feel like scenes like that where there's a large... Good job. Nice catch.
Oh, I didn't catch it last week and God damn it. And I fail right there.
When I feel like there's a large weight on a particular character and it's something that they're antagonizing over, making it longer gives us more of what that person's feeling. Because we're not comfortable with it being as long as it is. So clearly that person who is in the situation isn't comfortable with it in the first place. If that makes sense.
It does, yes.
So I feel like while I personally agree with cutting it down, it's necessary for us to get that feel of, hopelessness that she has.
I completely agree that it's a necessary scene. I'm just saying trim maybe 2 minutes. Just a quick trim.
You've been like for a while. What were you going to say?
I get it. Like, I get what you're saying, that it's necessary to get that across, but a good director can get that across very quickly. Like, they don't need so much time. And I feel like they showed her just laying there. Then they showed her just laying there and getting some food. And then they showed her just laying there while her friend called her.
Food. She didn't eat for a long fucking time.
She got food.
No, she didn't. They had to bring her food.
That's what I mean. Like, them bringing the food, and she got the food from them. But yeah, that's another scene that could have been cut down. Also, when they were eating at the market, there's like a whole part where it's just music playing and it's just showing them talk with the music playing, and you can't hear what they're saying, and I'm just pointless. You get they're having a good time eating with each other.
I mean, but what if you take that out? What other scenes do we have where they're like having a good time, enjoying themselves? Aside from the other ones you were already going to cut out.
See, I think that's a necessary scene because that's where she first feels accepted in that country.
Right.
I get that, but it was also like we're saying, a little bit too long. Like they like spun around hella slow the table and kind of just showed everyone having a good time, and I understand that, but through that conversation you kind of got that she had a good time with those people and she enjoyed their company and they were all having it fun.
I think it's just trim a minute here, trim a minute there, and trim it down like 20 minutes.
So basically pacing is like the length of the movie was a little bit of an issue. But for me, my top scenes were probably the first time she meets the mom in that kitchen, and she's telling her whole backstory, and
right,
she's just judging her.
Right.
And the way she was like working and judging her, I was like, oh man, she's really fucking good. This is such a good fucking scene, Jesus. And then the wedding.
Yeah,
that was when I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like, the way the water came out, I'd never seen a wedding like that. And I was just like, well, plus it all built up from that scene of her, you know, being like, fuck it, I'm going to go change and show this bitch. And then when she sat down with the princess and like won her over, the mom saw like, oh shit. But then she had to come up with some other reason of why.
Right.
But I think that was a great scene. Them running through the fucking party too, that was too long. I'd say that's probably my biggest problem, is the length of some scenes that just were way too long than they needed to be.
Going back to the wedding scene, probably definitely one of my top 5 scenes in the movie. I mean, if you haven't seen the movie, then whatever, because we're talking about it and you're listening now. But the song is Can't help falling in love with you. And I loved the singing, and like we're going over the crowd and the woman singing stops and like the bride comes out and the water starts flowing.
It was so great.
It was fucking
that
beautiful.
Water. I was like, what?
I got fucking chills. It is
The little girl in Ace just came out right there. I want a wedding like this.
I do. I want water in my wedding. That's crazy.
I'm broke right now, but if one day my wife says she wants to replicate that wedding, I wouldn't have problems with it.
I like how the asshole.
It was a crime.
It was a dope ass wedding, man.
It was really fucking good, and I loved the Rachel, both of Rachel's friends, Aquafina and then that gay dude.
He was awesome.
He was really funny and really good, and like the whole makeover and just all of his commentary.
I just love
hilarious.
when he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna show her, but like, don't let her know I was here." I love the cousin. What was his name?
Cousin. I like how they called all their aunts auntie.
Well, they didn't even call their aunts auntie. They called like
Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard. It wasn't just their aunts. Like they called some of their elders who they weren't even related to
auntie.
Like Rachel called his mom auntie a couple of times. Yeah, I think that's just a cultural thing.
I like it.
Yeah. I've seen that in a lot of like foreign films where like people will like talk to people they're not even related to, just like as a sign of respect, calling like auntie and you know.
One more scene that I did not like. When she's in the bed talking to her mom, Rachel is talking to her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's fucking taking pictures and they just laugh about it. I'm like, this is a creepy ass motherfucker. And you guys are just laughing, especially with Constance Wu being someone who talks about how she doesn't like the sexualization of Asian women.
Yeah.
I feel like you shouldn't just make a funny scene about a creepy,
I can see that. I thought it was
guy.
kind of weird, and I accepted it because I knew that like they knew that was what the dynamic was. But yeah, definitely a weird situation.
That kid was just fucking weird in general.
He was weird, and I think that's like, it wasn't like, you know, sister with Roger, where Roger wasn't like creepy.
Right.
He was, this kid was creepy, the way he just lurked around.
He had some unnecessary screen time.
Yeah, I think that whole family kind of did.
I loved when Rachel, right after Rachel's game of Mahjong with the mother, which I don't know the rules. Damn. I do not know the rules of Mahjong, so I don't like a lot of stuff that was going on was just like really lost.
I was lost.
I like the way it sounded.
Yeah. I love that scene. And I love the dialogue in that scene. She's like, you know, one day your son's going to be married to some rich, successful, you know, and I want you to know that was because of me. You know, like I love that. And she's like,
she threw her middle fingers up, right?
Fucking plays the fucking winning hand and walks away.
I like that scene a lot better than when it was in the trailer, I think, because it had the full amount and you kind of got the backstory.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's a trailer scene.
Yeah, I know I remember you kept mocking that scene after the trailer.
Well, it didn't deliver in the trailer.
Right.
You know, it really didn't. And getting that full bit and that whole scene was it was done so well.
And then I loved when she turned Nick down and he came back, you know, trying to, it was like, we know this is going to be a propose, and it's like, whatever, this dude's going to propose again. But then he pulls out the special fucking wedding ring from his mom that was made specifically for the same reason.
Chills.
Because I was like, that's
you got chills.
Chills. Man.
I knew. Look,
chills immediately. Once I saw that box open and I saw that, and I was like, boom, chills.
And part of me was like, this is predictable, but it's so
the
fucking
little girl
beautiful.
in me, the little girl in you. When you saw the wedding ring, I got chills. Motherfucker, I was like, yeah, good for you.
I was like,
good for you, Rachel. You're over here.
I was like, that's fucking beautiful. Oh my god.
I don't know. Other than like the dynamic with Rachel and her mother, and I just kind of felt like it was just a typical like rom-com. Like that's what made it, and I wish there was more of it.
But you got to cut it down like 20, 30 minutes.
I'm saying cut out some other stuff and put that in there.
I guess. One thing I think was kind of useless, and honestly, we could have kept everything in there that we said should have been cut and gotten rid of most of the stuff that happened to Nick's cousin.
With her affair?
Yeah.
And with the husband's
Like,
affair?
it
Yeah.
didn't affect anything outside of them.
Yeah.
No.
And I feel like it's like setting it up for a sequel because of that like end scene in the credits.
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't read the book.
There's a book?
Yeah, it's based
off a book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I don't know. Definitely my favorite line of the fucking movie though, when they were fucking arguing and he's like, "Where are you gonna go?" And she's like, "Well, I own 14 apartment buildings. Where do you think?" And like this conversation keeps going, and she's like, "I understand that like this is both of our fault, and it's on me because I shouldn't have been hiding all this jewelry. Blah 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 blah. I can't make you feel like a man." It's just like, I can't turn you into something you're not. And I was like,
savage.
like in the theater.
savage.
Oh
That was pretty
man,
savage. And she was so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Like
she was like
I've
the best
never
looking
heard of her.
person in that movie.
She was amazing looking. Like top 5 people I might have ever seen in my life. I was like, God damn.
I'd have to think about it, but
That was Astrid, right?
yeah, Astrid.
Yeah.
She was in Transformers the last night. And she's also going to be in Captain Marvel next year.
I cannot wait for Captain Marvel.
Who is she in Transformers?
Yeah, that's who was
I don't
she?
remember.
Was she a Transformer?
I don't think she was a Transformer, no.
Did they have? Because they always have like a.
I feel like she was a Transformer. She was probably the evil. What's her name?
They always have Transformers chicks, but like, I don't know.
She wasn't a main character in The Last Night. I think she was.
Was she a soldier?
I feel like she was the Prime that Optimus went to fight, and then
Oh yeah, I could see that.
I feel like that makes so much more sense because I did not see her in that movie.
Unless she had like a background role.
It's like Tanessa or something like that.
I don't know, but it's a pretty good movie. I'd say go see it.
Absolutely. I'm totally behind that. I mean, I gave it the highest rating out of all of us, so I think so.
It's definitely worth seeing. Take your lady or your guy, whichever.
Take
Go
your
see it.
friends. Enjoy it.
Definitely go see it.
Take everyone.
Feel the feels.
Yeah, it's Quintessa. She was Quintessa.
Quintessa. Okay, she was the bad guy. She was a Transformer.
Yeah.
Well, she was in Fantastic Beast.
Was she?
Yeah, she was
She's just
Madame Yazao.
She's just fucking flying under the radar. This beautiful fucking woman.
I know.
Incredibly beautiful.
How do we never see her?
Because they don't give her enough time, clearly.
They're like, you're too beautiful for this screen.
Oh, man.
All right. Has that concluded this
Anything
week?
else? Anything else you guys want to throw out there about the movie?
It's great.
I just wish I had that much money. I don't even wish I wish I had like point.
If they have a director's cut with like less in it, that would make it great. I just said it was great. If it was shorter, it'd be great. Because of the length it is, it's good.
Well, that's fine because originally when we first asked you, you said it was good. You said it was really, really good, but not great. That's what you said.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. You didn't backpedal really. I just, you remember how much money she spent on those earrings in the beginning?
Way too much.
Way too much.
It was like 1.3 billion. I mean,
But she got looks when she was at the party at the end, though. So it worked
You know what?
out.
I honestly thought she was gonna give those earrings to Rachel. Like in my head, when she first got those earrings, I'm like, she's gonna give these to Rachel.
I thought she was.
That's a hell of a gift.
Well, I thought she was going to like let her wear them for that scene.
Right.
That is a hell of a gift.
I don't think it matters. They got a lot of fucking money.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's why she was just throwing it around. I mean,
Like they said, they're old money. They're not.
Old money.
They're not that new tech age money.
this is original money.
This is They got power. They don't just got money.
All right, this has been Movies for the People. It's okay if you go to school, your friend gets a degree that's useful, and you come back as Asian Ellen, because Ellen is one bomb-ass lady.